As moms, we spend so much time serving others, especially our families. It's easy to start feeling lost in motherhood, like our only purpose in life is to get everyone what they need when they need it and to just do everything around the house. Our husbands, our children, they rely on us for so many things. And running a household is such a huge job that we can honestly forget that we are a person who matters with preferences and opinions and likes and dislikes. If you want to find yourself in motherhood, you are going to have to decide that mom's preferences matter. Last week I was talking about how we can get more energy as moms, and I mentioned getting curious about what you want. Thinking about what we want might be a foreign concept to a lot of us. It might be hard to identify what it is that we actually want, and probably even harder to do anything about it. We might feel guilty or too busy to ever do the things that we want to do. I think so often we feel like we are just drowning in to-dos and we actually forget to enjoy life. And the more we keep putting ourselves last, the more out of touch we get with ourselves. We get so invested in our kids and their life experience, and we start losing sight of our own. We get really wrapped up in every little thing that each of our family members want that we don't even think about what we want. So the words mom and want don't typically go together. Tell me if it's just me, but I really feel like everyone expects moms to just serve endlessly and never need or want to do anything else. Don't get me wrong, I get a lot of fulfillment from being a wife and a mom. Raising a family, having children, and being a wife all truly bring me so much joy. And that is not the only thing I live for. If any of this is resonating with you, know that you are not alone. I'm sure we all feel this way at least some of the time. So how can you find yourself in motherhood? First of all, I refuse to overwhelm you and to just add one more thing to your to-do list. I'm guessing that right now it's not realistic for you to make a drastic change or put a ton of thought into what you could do differently. Hours every day aren't suddenly going to free up for you to do whatever you want. So what I want you to do right now is to just think through your typical day. You can write it out if that's helpful to you, but what would you say are the bright spots in the day? What things bring a smile to your face? What makes you feel a little bit lighter? What makes you feel peace? What brings you a feeling of calm and contentment? What are the simple joys in your life right now? Some things for me right now would be cuddling with my husband in bed for a few minutes before getting up each morning. Opening the blinds or the curtains first thing in the morning to let in the sunshine. That is truly like one of my favorite parts of the day. Putting my makeup on after washing my face and feeling really refreshed and ready for the day. Walking back into the house with just my toddler after dropping the big kids off at school. Nap time when my toddler's in bed and I actually have some time to myself. And then, how can I not mention that moment when my husband comes home from work? Finally, some reinforcements. Now, I know that when we're in a negative place, it can be really hard to come up with anything happy or positive. We feel this sense of responsibility, and we are convinced that all we ever do are things that we have to do, whether we want to or not. I talked about shoulds last week, and that's a really helpful concept to be aware of, and I will definitely link that video. But if it's just too tricky to think about things that bring you a true sense of happiness, maybe try to reach for something that brings you a sense of satisfaction. Things you do in your day that feel really good to you to have done, or something that brings you a sense of accomplishment or pride in yourself and what you did. These things for me would be doing the dishes. Not something like I just totally live for and love doing, but I do feel differently once I've done it. Like it feels really good to me. Taking my kids to do something out of the ordinary, like taking them to the swimming pool or to the park, something I wouldn't normally do. I feel really proud of myself and I feel like, okay, I'm a good mom, right? My family eating the dinner and enjoying the meal that I prepared for everybody. going for a drive with my husband because seeing the changing leaves is important to him. So, the powerful thing about finding these enjoyable moments in your day is that you can start making them really count for something. You've heard the expression, you can't pour from an empty pot, right? If these little pleasures go unnoticed day after day after day, we are not truly soaking in all they have to offer us. We're feeling more and more drained without ever refilling. It goes without saying, but I'm gonna say it anyway. The time you spend filling up your cup increases your capacity to deal with the things that take away from it. So really lean into those things that bring you a positive emotion. Recognize any self-care tasks that are already built into your day and use them to recharge your battery. For instance, instead of taking just a mundane shower in the morning, turn on some music and notice how good it feels to get clean and how much you love this song. Take the time to notice the little bit of satisfaction you get from brushing your teeth. Like, that feels good. Realize the gratitude you feel that you actually got 90 seconds to pee in the bathroom alone while your toddler was like going to find his Duplo that he lost or whatever. Those little moments can really matter. So, practice being present and paying attention to your thoughts and your feelings. Once you start doing this, it'll be easier and easier to learn to find enjoyment in more and more of your everyday tasks. Now, I think it's only fair that we allow ourselves now to acknowledge the hardest parts of our day, because those totally exist too. What things just drive you crazy? What makes you so super frustrated? What tasks do you do that you absolutely dread and get zero satisfaction from? I definitely do not love cleaning the bathtub. As much as I wish I did, I have a really hard time enjoying the bedtime routine with my kids. I am just so dead by that point in the day. It really gets on my nerves when other family members leave messes around the house. So there's nothing wrong with me for getting bugged by these things. We are allowed to have preferences, even as moms. So go ahead and notice and acknowledge your preference. Pay attention to your thoughts and your feelings. At some point, we can definitely think about making changes, but for now, we're just trying to get to know ourselves again and recognize that we don't need to shut any part of ourselves off for the sake of our family. We can pay attention to those feelings. So give yourself permission to feel however you feel. Allow yourself to have preferences. Because I'm talking about this, I'm deciding right here, right now, to finally get rid of this face wash that I have been absolutely hating. Every single morning and every single night, I am letting this face wash totally bum me out. So the story is that my sister-in-law was getting rid of a bunch of lotions and things before her big move, and so I brought a few of them home, intentionally picking some out that I thought I could use, and I knew I was about out of face wash, and so might as well get this, right? Like, I'm not that picky. So the very first time I used it, I hated it. There's nothing wrong with the product by any means, but it really just wasn't what I was used to, and it was just throwing me off. Still is throwing me off. It has these little beads in it, and it foams a lot when you rub it onto your face, and so then I feel like I need a ton of water to rinse it all off. We have a water softener, so you already feel like you're not like fully rinsing. Anyway, even though it was free, I still felt like I needed to use it all up. And it is a huge bottle. I don't even know how long that would take me. So I have continued using it for weeks now, but I'm realizing I can give myself permission to not like this. I don't have to wash my face with this face wash that I hate. Beyond that, I'm giving myself permission to go and buy something that I do like. It's a very tiny way for me to show myself that I matter. A simple $7 purchase to just tell myself, I hear you, I feel you, you matter. those feel really weird to say to myself. It is not how I usually talk to myself. But seriously, we as moms have to go out of our way to tell ourselves these types of things every chance we get. I love being a stay-at-home mom. I truly would not have it any other way. I do believe that the sacrifices we make for our families are important for us and for them. And I feel very strongly that we have to be really careful to not get lost in the sauce. Mom's preferences matter, and noticing them is the first step to find yourself in motherhood. You are doing amazing. I know you are. And I will see you guys later.